back to the next episode of The Farthest Thunder, an alien RPG actual play. Um, we will be down two players tonight. Both South and Ezra are traveling and unable to join us. But I see Gideon has an extra friend in the background, though. That might help.
My dog decided to join us tonight.
Free
Excellent.
plot armor.
hmm
Um, so I'll start off with a quick recap. You guys returned to the Chimata no Kami, the science exploration vehicle sent from the Great Mother mission to explore Baxter's Reach on a diplomatic mission, which kind of went south, no pun intended, um, with all sorts of mishaps and mayhem, including popping acid beetles, an insurgency from within, from the Simps, an element called cooperative coming in to try and wrestle power from the locals and subjugate them even further. And conflict, even within the good citizens of Baxter's Reach, between honest, upstanding, shady speakeasies and town council. Between obviously the sympathizers to the cooperative and those who did not want to have anything to do with them. And then, of course, between the off-worlders and the people of Baxter's Reach, each with their own agendas and motivations. There was some tragedy up until this point, with Gideon's youngest sister passing during a traumatic beetle attack. Gideon himself injured quite permanently from that encounter as well, or part of that broader encounter, losing a kidney and being recovering in a wheelchair.
For weeks, it feels like.
Weeks, it does, literally. And for Benji. Just a good old kid from Baxter's Reach that wanted to get off this rock and explore space. When things got violent, when the cooperative arrived, he took a bad shot. And he perished. Here you all
R.I.P.
are. R.I.P. indeed. And here you all are back on the Shimata no Kami, piloted by Ezra, repaired by his crew, and debating what to do next. After having recovered the long data disk from the town council, you discovered a whole slew of events of the history of Baxter's Reach that even those who lived here weren't quite fully aware of. That the plague that decimated the population of this colony almost 70 years ago could be attributed to the discovery of some black goo, which seems to have resurfaced recently, along with the mention of a hooded figure who also seems to have abducted Gideon's surviving sisters and taken them roughly 100 kilometers west of Baxter's Reach to a mountain range wherein a hidden valley lies with strange mound formations and many rivulets flowing down from the mountainsides into a large depression in the middle of the valley. Because you flew there in your repaired shuttle vehicle, you were able to get a good vantage of the area and discover that the depression actually went down about 100 meters. And at the bottom of that depression, there was what looked to be an iris valve of some kind of gate, stuck open quite a bit, but not large enough for the vehicle to go through. And all indications are that the hooded figure, along with Gideon's sisters, are somewhere down there. So you all decided as a group that instead of leaving this horrible place, all the misery that you've encountered within the span of maybe 3 or 4 Earth days, it's been a pretty rough few days for you guys. You decided to do this one last thing: rescue Gideon's sisters, and maybe think about saving the rest of the people in Gideon and Baxter's Reach, if you have space and you're in a good mood. But first things first, we will start there with Ezra hovering the shuttlecraft over the depression, lowering some rappelling ropes upon which 4 of you will descend. Ezra will remain on board, piloting the ship, and I will keep South on board as well, so I don't get him killed in the whole below. That's where we'll start.
This is not what we talked about. This is foolish. We're all gonna get killed.
Here is the valley. And you're hovering maybe about 50 meters down this depression, below which is a hatch of some sort. Just to confirm, is it only the 4 of you descending, or are you going to be taking any of the crew or NPCs along with you?
I think it might be wise to take a couple just in case.
Yeah, Mags might insist.
Yeah, Otmar is like doesn't understand why Gideon is coming. I'm gonna slow them down. Doesn't understand why South is staying. It's like he in the head. He's knocking on the door. He's like, this party is not gonna work. We need help, or he's not going.
Well, there's also Captain Lin, a very capable fighter, who is your captive on board. And then, of course, Mad Megs' trusty henchman.
And who we got
Carl.
with us? We got Lockjaw and we got
Half pint.
Half Pint. That's right.
I need Carl.
No, Carl needs to survive, please.
We all need to survive.
Hmm.
All right, so I'm just going to bring you guys out here just to confirm who's going. So we have Aiko, the Wayland Yutani Corp, Gideon, good old boy from Baxter's Reach. We have Mad Megs, proprietor of, aptly named, The Hollow, back in Baxter's Reach, and of course, Mr. Otmar Ettinger, Roughneck, and Harvester Wrangler extraordinaire.
Well, Lockjaw, you're coming with us. Half Pint, suit up. You too.
Yes, ma'am. Lockjaw and Half Pint, geared up and ready to go.
Mr. Ettinger, you seem confused, one might say flustered even. You having second thoughts?
I don't understand why we're bringing the boy. And we're going to have to guard him. It'll be very slow and steady. But if you're bringing your muscle here, Half Pint, let's go scout out a bit. But we're not going to be moving quickly, and we're not going to be moving quietly.
Carl sees you guys debating what to do with Gideon. And he says, you know, I might have, if you're insisting on bringing the boy with you, I know, I hear you, Mr. Ettinger. I can see how the wheelchair might slow you down, especially when you're trying to rappel down 50 meters into the hole.
Gideon was hoping no one noticed.
I could give him something. It'll be short term. It'll be temporary. There's something in the med bay. I've seen docs use. They'll give him a bit of a boost, so to speak. But when he comes down, he's going to come down hard.
There'll be time for that later. That sounds like a great idea. Carl. Gideon, you okay with this? Or do you have a better plan?
Yeah, sure. Anything to get me out of this stupid chair, please.
Stim pack.
Go on the
Pretty
blue
much.
tent.
Pretty much a stim pack. But it's a bit harsher than that. It's basically getting. I mean, you're still in a lot of pain. Obviously, you're still got stitches, and that needs to heal. But what this will do is effectively block that pain and discomfort for a little while, so it feels like you're back to normal. But you'll still, like, if you move around too much or whatever, you can still open up that wound again, and you'll start bleeding out if you're not too careful. And then again, when the stim ends, you're gonna crash.
What the hell? I've already been flopping around in the dirt anyway. Let's do this.
So he gives you 2 of them. It's to last an hour. I don't know how long you guys are going to be down there, but I figure if you're down there longer than 2 hours, you're not coming back. So
I think that sounds about right. 120 minutes. How long we got?
That's the first one will do you fine, but if you feel yourself coming down from the first one and you apply the second one, yeah, you're not supposed to really do that, but I mean, in case of emergency, you just like, yeah, don't try not to use the second one.
Okay. So take one. And then wait. And then when shit goes down, take the other one and we're good to go.
Maybe.
I'll figure it out. It'll be fine.
He looks around to the rest of you and says, "Oh, you guys all suited up? You guys need a compression suit or anything?"
Got mine right here.
I think Gideon will put one on if there's any extras.
There definitely is.
Ico will definitely put one on.
Where are we at
Bags.
for power levels on equipment? Is there
Fully
any-
charged.
Fully
Bring yourself to fully
Perfect.
charged.
Okay.
Yep. All right. So Gideon, you have your armor on. Aiko, I'll give you a suit too. Oh, you guys are both wearing your armor. Now, are you going on with helmets on?
I'll take everything.
Yeah, Otmar would.
I guess I'll go with the group, yeah.
And there's like an intercom or some sort of comm system they have.
Yep. Joe's got his
Radio
half pint.
chick. Half
Radio
pint, you
chick.
there?
I'm here, boss. And half pint is too diminutive to fit into a compression suit, so he's still wearing his leathers. But yeah, and he's looking around, with you guys all putting on your spacesuits and like your helmets and stuff, and he's just, what about me, boss?
She's gonna go up to him, half pint, and she's gonna grab him by the shoulders and say, "You've never looked diminutive before. Come on, Levi, get it together." Using his real name for the first time. Levi, it's fine. You've been through worse.
I'm not sure if I have, ma'am, but I'm gonna have to make you roll a manipulation check, Mags, to see if you can convince half pint to go in without a helmet,
I like it.
with the rest of you guys wearing one.
Listen up, all right? We're walking into a game where the stakes are high, and the odds they ain't in our favor. He just starts rambling on. This little pep talk just for Levi.
Yeah, I can do this. I can do this. Ma'am, I won't let you down. I won't let you down. And he like tries to find anything he can get his hands on to make himself feel a little better. And he picks up like a wrench, tucks it into his belt. At least I got a wrench.
Aiko's gonna walk over to Mad Mags. That's a pretty good way to handle insubordination. I've never seen anyone approach it like that. I'm gonna be adding this to my notes. That was impressive.
Why, thank you. I don't bluff and I don't play to lose. Sometimes you gotta bolster the spirits, you know?
Aiko
Take the
likes
soft angle.
filter spirits.
All right. So before you guys leave, Gideon, do you slap a patch on?
Oh, hell yeah.
It's like a jolt of adrenaline starts rushing through your body. Just feel super pumped, like you drank like 10 gallons of coffee. And the pain kind of
Pre-workout hit.
the pain you're feeling in your kidney area, even the bruising and the soreness from your arm that was damaged and broken earlier, or like not necessarily but was sprained, all that's gone. You're feeling great. You're feeling like $1,000,000.
Oh, hell yeah. Gideon's like running in place, starting to do jump jacks. This is awesome. I can do this forever, man.
All right. So here's the thing. That downside with the stim pass just gives you your mobility back. You're no longer like having to have a penalty with it. But if you fail a mobility check, you can take damage as the stitching kind of opens up and you start bleeding, just because you can't feel it anymore, or any kind of physical exertion that you take can reopen your wound.
Okay.
And let you fail. And any time after the hour comes, you're going to have to make a stamina check to see if you're able to shake off the crash.
Okay.
Is that damage before a push? So if she pushes and succeeds, does she still take?
No. As long as she pushes, she's fine and succeeds.
Good thing I put a crap ton of points into stamina then.
All right. So Ezra lowers the shuttle down into the hole, opens the hatch, and lowers 2 ropes. How long do you want these ropes to be? It's 50 meters to the hatch, and you don't have no idea how far down beyond that you need to go.
Carl's, get the winch. How much line can we fit on the winch?
Well, if we only use 1 rope, I can go to 500 meters.
Let's do 2 ropes at 250. Can we fit 2 out the bay?
Yeah, I can rig that up.
Aiko's gonna walk over to Mad Mags. Hey, you think we could send that half pint guy down first, just to canary in the mine well?
She gives you a glance like, I don't know, aren't you in charge here? Shouldn't you take lead?
I don't want to make you look bad in front of your crew, is all.
Oh, okay. I see. And she'll grimace a little bit, but she'll look over to Half Pint and say, Half Pint, you're on me. And she'll go first.
So Mags is going down 1 rope first. Who's going down first on the second rope?
I'll go.
Otmar, you going down. And who's going second and third ropes?
Aiko's gonna
I'll
go
go.
last. He's also gonna be waiting for like confirmation that everything's okay. So he's actually gonna stay on the ship for a little bit.
Lockjaw, you come with me.
Half pint. Get in. Which rope do you want to go down?
I'll go down with Lockjaw Outmar.
All right. Echo, that means you're going to go down with Megs and Half Pint. All
In
right.
theory.
In theory. Nothing going to go wrong here.
Aiko cuts the rope.
He needs a sample.
Whoops. Looks like that was an
Ooh,
awful
it's a
tragic
team.
accident.
We're a family now. You're part of the corporate family. We need the sample.
All right.
Family.
Otmar, Mad Megs, as you wrap this rope around you, there's no real repelling gear on the ship. So you're kind of making do with wrapping the rope around you, kind of winching yourself down a little bit. I still need you guys to make mobility checks. And I'll give you one extra die because Carl.
How do you trigger it to ask you for more dice?
Right click on your skill instead of
Okay.
left click.
Ugh.
All right. Otmar pushing, still no successes. And Meg's pushing, no
Oh.
successes. Oh my gosh. So many dice and nothing happens. All right. So, Otmar, Megs, you guys are descending. Before Lockjaw and Half Pint start descending, do you want to fully descend yourselves, or do you want them to start while you're like 10 meters down or something?
They can decide for themselves based on what they observe.
Yeah, they're gonna wait.
Yeah.
They're gonna wait. All right. Otmar, Megs, with no successes.
You fall to your death.
No, not that bad.
Roll on the critical injury table.
All right, Otmar, can you roll just 1d6 for me, please?
Mhm.
Otmar, you are making your way down this rope, and with the thrusters of the shuttlecraft, the rope is swaying kind of wildly, and you're doing your best to keep yourself stable and focus on just lowering yourself, but the rope is twisting in the air, and you find your feet kind of get tangled in it, and before you know it, you're hanging upside down in your rope. Well, halfway down. Megs, I need you to roll a d6 for me, please.
Do I have to?
All right, not a 1. So, Megs, you make it roughly 2/3 of the way down, maybe 3/4. You see Otmar struggling. And as you're kind of distracted by Otmar dangling upside down by his ankle, you kind of lose grip on the last 15 feet or so of the rope, and you find yourself like crashing down onto the platform below. I'm going to roll some dice here. All right, so you're going to take 1 point of damage. Because you are wearing armor, I'll let you roll your armor dice to reduce some of that. Your armor might be able to absorb some of the shock of the fall.
All right.
Fortunately not. All right, so you'll take 1 point of health damage. You'll take 1 point of stress.
I mean, you can
So-
blame Otmar for that one.
And Otmar, you're taking a point of stress too because you're kind of hanging upside down.
Yeah.
Otmar, I need you to make another mobility check to see if you can get yourself untangled, unless you want to wait there for somebody to come and get you to help you out.
Could he make a survival check to maybe just get himself in a safer position for someone to help him?
Survival. What does survival do? Sure.
He's getting desperate. I think that's kind of what's going on.
All right. So
Trying to get in a safe place and then figure out where to go from there.
all right. So you managed to, like, you're still hanging upside down, but you managed to get yourself held onto the rope. So at least you're not going to fall and you're not going to break your ankle. You're kind of distributing the weight between your shoulders and your foot. Lockjaw is going to come down and try and help you out as best he can. Who wants to roll Lockjaws? I'm not going to roll for them. It will be 3 dice. 3d6.
All right, Max will roll it. 3d6.
All right. He makes it down. Makes it down to Otmar. Now you can see he's breathing pretty heavy. He's not the most agile guy. He's kind of strong, but not very flexible. But he's going to reach down and try and disentangle you. So I'll give him, let's say, a survival check. And they'll get 1 extra die. So what's his 3? So they have 4 dice on this. Go ahead and roll. Megs, this is your guy.
46.
All right. So not only does he manage to untangle Otmar, and Otmar, you're down now safely, safe and sound. Lockjaw will be able to descend safely himself, but he's also going to wait for Gideon to come down and assist Gideon's mobility check. That extra success. So Gideon, you are up, and you are going to be rolling your mobility plus 2 dice. 1 for Carl and 1 for Lockjaw.
Okay. Adding 2.
You just needed the 1 success, and you're good. All right, you're feeling good. So this entire group here is now safely on the hatch. Half Pint is going to scramble down, and he has got he's mobile. He gets 9 dice. All right, yeah, he scrambles down there. Not a problem. He jumps down onto the platform beside you, Meg, says, "No problem, boss. I got this." Aiko.
Can he get like a +1 from having watched everybody both screw up and get down safely, and he kind of has a rough idea of what to do?
You're already getting a +1 from Carl. If you want to get another one from observing, you're going to have to make an observation check first to see if you have any successes.
I have 0 mobility, so I need every point I can get. Observation. No. All right. We're going down with just a +1. So base modifier of 1.
Yep. 4 dice. You got this. All right. So you get about halfway down, you start to hyperventilate. But you make it down safely. You will
just don't look down, Aiko.
So
That's
the ropes.
all where I'm looking.
So you guys are all standing right now on this steel thing, this ring surrounding this hole. And it's massive. You guys are kind of tiny little dots. The scale is not right with terms of your tokens here. And it's just the ropes continue down into darkness, and it descends beyond what light can penetrate. Around you, though, is an interesting sight in and of itself. You see what look to be passageways and rooms, kind of. There's a ring, actually, that you could not see from your vertical vantage point earlier. But now that you're standing on this hatch, this valve, there is a ring around it, a wall with passageways at each of the cardinal, like north, south, east, west, and between them a number of what looked like doors. But the doors don't really have any handles or knobs or anything like that. And they're quite tall. They're over 8 feet tall, these doors. Or you can continue on down if you like.
Can Gideon kind of look around and see if like there was like any sort of disturbance or activity that happened recently around those doors?
Sure. Go ahead and make an observation check.
Alrighty. Nope.
Are there any like or maybe just, is there any like something I could drop that would clearly make noise just so I could maybe see how far down it goes, maybe hear something?
Yeah, sure. There's lots of like little pebbles and stuff you can find around here. Right. You drop it and you wait. 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. Then you hear a very faint little splash.
There's water down there or something liquid. So 3 seconds at 9 meters.
Math.
Depending on the gravity on this particular planet, and
What if we just pick a door since we don't really want to land in water down there? I don't
Yeah,
really know how
Otmar's
to
looking.
swim.
What's the widest doorway of that they can see?
Well, there are 4 passageways without doors.
Okay. Are they
And
all
then-
identical?
They all look identical. And I should say they are of, it's safe to say, of an alien construction. They're not plain steel type walls or passageways. They have a very organic type texture to them, almost as if they are ribbed, and they're black and they are shiny.
Geiger core. Yes. I guess they choose the first one and walk down it.
For the record, it's about 145 feet.
All right. So which way? North, south, east, or west?
South.
South.
All right. You head south down the passageway. And you guys can arrange your order here. How do you guys want to travel down? The passageway is quite wide. You can easily fit like 6 abreast if you like. Or
Maybe
if
the
you want,
same order as the ropes.
Okay.
Does that work?
Echo will stay a little bit further back, just for tactical purposes.
Sure, you could tell yourself that.
For strategy, you wouldn't understand.
All right. Do you any of you guys will have lights on your compression suit? You all have your masks on, right? Your helmets on.
Except for half pint.
Except for Half Pint. Half Pint's looking a little nervous, by the way. He sees you guys all kind of walking down
Striding
this
through
hallway.
the shadows confidently.
But he doesn't seem to be choking or asphyxiating or anything like that, so he's good for now. You make your way south, and as you don't go very far in, maybe 20 meters in before it gets quite dark. The light from the outside, you're already in a deep depression. The ambient light has kind of faded from here, and because of the nature of the walls, black, it gets dark very quickly. And as your eyes begin to adjust to the dim light, you notice a couple of things. One is that the walls themselves seem to be glowing very faintly, but there's almost like a bluish hue to them, almost like a bioluminescence. You also notice as soon as there is no more light, you see a strange sort of fungus kind of lining the cracks and crevices of the walls, pinkish in color. And you can hear Half Pint saying, "Smells like a cotton candy factory in here, boss."
Her first reaction is, how would he know what that smells like? But
Just imagine it, boss.
What the
she
hell? Cotton candy.
she says, well, isn't that interesting? And so we can barely see effectively.
We have your lights on and
Okay.
on your helmets, so you find yourselves in a tunnel that looks very similar to this.
Yeah, nothing ominous here.
Start making your way down, heading south, and you travel for.
Can
Sorry?
Aiko make an observation if he's seen anything like this in any of his like private files or anything? Like, is there anything about these walls or this architecture that he's seen a note of or something?
What kind of skill check can you make? That would be. Let's just say it's an observation, just to see if you recognize anything that you're seeing here. Wow, nice roll. Yeah, you do recall reading notes from expeditions into the Outer Rim colonies. One of them mentioning an alien structure that kind of sounds similar to this. You do recall with the number of successes that you got. Hold on, I just want to double check how many you got there. You got 2 successes. With the second success, what other information would you like to recall, do you think, from this report?
Just maybe a vague sense of like how dangerous is this? Like, did that expedition, was it like really dangerous or was it like fine?
There were no survivors.
Aiko's. So Aiko's stopped for a minute while everybody's walking ahead, and he's just kind of looking pensively at the wall. He stops. He looks over. Question for you, group. If you had cancer, but you were gonna die the next day, would you want to know? He's looking for like a vote or like to see how many people would want to know in the group.
What does this have to do with this creepy tunnel we're in?
Answer the question, Gideon. Just answer the question. Would you want to know?
I mean, I guess.
I'd like to know what sort of cards are in your hand right now. Let's put it on the table, Aiko.
So he's gonna like shine his light on some of the ribs in the wall and the architecture, and he's gonna be like, "This is classified, but at this point we might all just die, so who cares?" Apparently, there's been some expeditions I've read about that talk about this type of architecture we're seeing, and everybody dies. There's not a lot of information, but I know that this means death.
Well, no shit, Sherlock.
I've been saying that the whole time. We're all gonna die here.
I mean, you don't even have to come down this giant ass hole to know that this is a bad idea.
Well, I guess we're all on the same page.
What are you suggesting? We tuck tail and run, get back to the ropes and try to climb up them? Hard enough
I'm
getting down.
I'm merely suggesting that we go as little in as possible and as fast out as possible.
I got other words for it. When do we cut our losses? Now, Mags, I know you know about that.
You know I do know about that.
So here's the thing, Otmar, and I want to be real with you. I know you farm folk aren't used to business negotiations, but let me get real with you for a minute. Let's play it out. Let's just say, hey, we go back, take you guys back to the ship. We know too much now. They're going to sit us down in some information rooms. And if they don't like the information we have and we don't have any leverage to protect ourselves, we might just disappear. So if we don't get some of this goo and hide it for our own protection, we're not going to have any allies up there either.
Is there goo around? Otmar's looking along the floor.
Go ahead and make an observation check.
Akko, you could do whatever the hell you want. I'm not leaving till I get them back.
Otmar, you do not see any signs of goo, but you do notice something odd. Up until this point, including the disc that you kind of lowered yourself on, there was dirt, grime, just kind of the buildup of soil and silt kind of everywhere. The corridor you're traveling on now, though, it's quite clean. There's no sign of grime or soil or dirt here.
We are in a dangerous place. And we cut our losses 60 minutes in, yeah. Because they're leaving without us at 120. So, Gideon, if we ain't got your sisters by then, I'm sorry, but we're going to have to leave.
Y'all can leave whenever. I'm not going without them.
I understand that. Let's move.
Lockjaw,
Yes, ma'am.
you know the types of favors you owe me.
I owe you a ton, ma'am. Don't think I'll ever have a chance to repay them all.
Today might be the day. Take this earpiece and go on ahead. She'll pull out her Segson PDAP. I need you to scout. Half pint would be the idea. You know what? Never mind. Half pint. Take his helmet. Oh, it doesn't fit. Is that the problem? Doesn't fit. Okay.
Well, the helmet needs something to fasten onto, and he's not wearing that suit that matches the helmet. So,
Okay. All right. So, no, it's Lockjaw. Need you to take this ahead. And I'll be listening. We'll be paying attention.
yes, ma'am.
First sign of trouble, you turn around, you run back to us, you hear? Don't take any chances.
Will do, ma'am. And he confidently swaggers off down the hall ahead of you. He disappears. You can just see his light kind of bouncing around, kind of, and then turn a corner and lose sight of him. It's maybe just a couple minutes later, not that long, maybe a few minutes. And when you hear him radio back, he says, "Ma'am, the tunnel seems to end at a large stone stairwell that's leading back up to the surface."
She'll report back to the rest of the party. Sounds like it's a... Not sure if this is a dead end or what.
Let's go there and see if we can contact Ezra from that position.
She'll nod. And she'll radio back saying, tell him to sit tight. We're on our way.
And You make your way down to the end of this corridor. You catch up with Lockjaw, who's standing there in front of exactly what he mentioned. The corridor ends, and you see spiraling up a stone staircase that seems to go up beyond even the range of your lights. Climb it?
Is there any sign of is there dust? Is it clean and like at like the hallways, or is it stone and dusty?
It's got a little bit more grime here, and you can actually, it's Half Pint that says this without his helmet. You can say, "Ma'am, there's definitely a draft coming down this pipe. I smell fresh air. Doesn't smell like a goddamn candy factory in here anymore. I think that's the way out. Should we go?"
I mean, I think we might as well. There's no point in turning around now.
This would take us back to the surface, and we've got stuff to look for, right? We're looking for your family.
So along this whole path, it was basically just a hallway directly from the shaft to this other entrance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
so south is another exit to the surface.
Yep.
Well, so Aiko's going to suggest, well, maybe there's other doors up there that'll lead us deeper into the facility. So it actually might be worth checking out. Maybe this was some.
So Aiko wants to go up. How many minutes are on the mission timer?
You guys have been doing this for probably about 20 minutes now.
Gideon, I need you to make this decision. Should we explore upward to potentially find other rooms where your sisters might be, or should we go back to the main junction?
I would say let's go up here and at least see where it leads to. Because it already took us 20 minutes. It's going to take us 20 minutes to get back.
All right. Let's go up.
You ascend the stone staircase, spiraling up what seems to be hundreds of meters. You emerge in one of the mounds. Going back to this map here, you guys emerge way over here. There seems to be a little hole in the ground here that you guys popped out of. And you can see the shuttlecraft kind of flying around up here, waiting for you guys.
Radio check, Ezra. Reporting from a new position. There's a series of tunnels underneath that are free of dirt and debris. Have a distinctly mortifying characteristic. We're going back down.
Wait a second. I'm going to violate rule number 1 of splitting the party, but given our time constraints, should we maybe just, because we're at the top, right? So technically speaking, we don't even have to go back down. Couldn't we just go to the entrances from here, like walk to them and go down those other entrances?
Not quite sure where they are, because this one that you popped up out of was kind of hidden amongst the tall, like the grasses and the stones that kind of circle it. So it might take a while to find those other entrances.
All right, Aiko is gonna say, Aiko has a slightly crazy idea. This is weird, but can we maybe all take a little bit of that stim and just run back to the entrance and split the party and run? Can we all take a little hit?
A little hit.
Stim passive of your own. And I got it wrong. This is south here. This is the south side.
Yeah. That's what Aiko's gonna suggest. We take a little hit and we all just scan the rest of the paths, split the party up so we can cover all the ground.
Well, you guys, it took you guys probably just over 5 minutes to climb these stairs to get to the top. 25 minutes. You get back to the shaft, going back down the stairs and back, probably take you another 5 to 10 minutes because you guys going down is going to be a little faster. You guys aren't going to dawdle.
Well, can we also be running for the?
Yeah, if you guys want to do a light
Oh,
jog,
Let's just go back down the way we came and hustle. Lockjaw, half pint. Let's go.
right?
there's three
Mo would
other
follow.
doors, north, south, and west, right? So I guess maybe 2, 2, 2.
Mag's gonna say, but what are the odds of them all being the exact same as this one? My book says pretty good.
You want to go down?
She sort of gives a head tilt, suggesting, yeah.
Can we radio to the ship to let one of the ropes down and just pull it down, and then maybe fasten it to something here and create like our own drop
Yeah,
ladder?
there's not really anything to fasten it to around the hole. You'd have to probably fasten it around to maybe some vegetation around here. So
So we
you'd
have
lose maybe
250 meters, and based
Yeah.
on the calculation, it was about 150. Ha! The math mattered.
All right. So you want to descend into the darkness. Okay.
Well, when you say it like that,
I ain't going down there.
Lockjaw, you're going down. You're going down first.
Yes, ma'am. Again, he's not the most agile person. Might have a little difficulty with this.
She pulls out the PDAP, trying to guide him down. One leg over the other. Take it
Yes,
slow.
ma'am. Starts descending. Right out of the way, and he just starts going down the center here. Lockjaw is going to have 4 dice, 4d6.
push it.
Yeah, if you want to push it.
I'd be rolling it again.
Yep. 5d6.
Yeah.
All right. As he goes down, descending into darkness, you see his headlamp kind of fading into the abyss below. And you hear him say, "Boss, I'm down. This fucking place is huge."
Report back. What do you see, Lockjaw?
I see a whole lot of nothing, ma'am. It's just this place is flooded. Looks like there's all sorts of like weird sorts of lichen vegetation. Maybe I'm not quite sure what I'm looking at, but
Any sign of movement? Any sign of activity?
it's the graveyard down here, ma'am. It's just a one big empty room. Hold on a sec, ma'am. And you can feel the rope go. You can see the rope go slack. And you wait for a minute. Ma'am, I think there's a passageway. It's like, I don't know, almost 100 meters wide. This passageway. It's like you could drive a semi down it easy, maybe 2.
Any signs of that type of activity?
No, ma'am. Just pretty damn creepy down here, ma'am. But it's just me, I think.
So she'll report back to everybody else. I can have him go further. I don't know the range of this exactly. Or we can go and meet him. Sounds like there's a lead.
Do you want me to go down the tunnel, ma'am? It looks like it's sloping up a little bit.
Do it, Lockjaw.
Yes, ma'am. And he starts making his way. And you hear him calling back. Says, this tunnel is it's massive, ma'am. It keeps going. And as he's talking, you can hear static start to creep in to the signal. And he's getting out of range.
Lockjaw. Lockjaw, turn around. Turn around, Lockjaw. Come back.
I'm gonna roll.
Lockjaw.
Sir.
Half pint on me. We're going down. She starts to go.
All right, you going down before half pint?
Yep.
Max,
right.
what are you doing?
He's just out of range. That's all there is to it. I'm going to go down far enough to call him back in.
Got 5 minutes. Go.
Megs, go ahead and make that mobility check.
She's great at that.
You get +1. Nice. So with those 2 extra successes, you can bank them or go down faster or
She'll bank him. That
Okay.
would be banked for another mobility check, right?
of similar nature. So next time you
Yep.
do a climbing check like this, you can
Yep.
use them.
She'll
All
bank him.
right.
A little retcon before Mad Megs went down, Aiko ran over with one of the vials and said, "Hey, if you see any of that goo,
She'll take it.
he'll flick one over to Half Pint too."
Half pint looks over at you, Megs, quickly. Is okay, boss.
It's fine.
All right. He grabs it and tucks it into his chest pocket, into his leather jacket.
Damn, you got these guys whipped.
All right. Half pint. Half pint's going to be rolling. Go ahead and roll 9 dice for half pint, please.
Spider-Man's going down here.
All right.
Ooh,
Yeah. He
just
scrambles
got
down. Just got one. So him and you and half pint are on the ground. Anyone else going down?
Can Gideon try and investigate the other doors we didn't go through again? See if maybe there was some he missed.
There are doors at the corners here, but the passageways are at the cardinal points. You've been to the south one. There's still one to the north, over here, west and east.
Aiko will say, "You guys want to check the other 3 just in case? Split up."
Copy that. Do we go until we hear static?
That might be smart. That way we could still hear each other.
I mean, we should be able to see each other if it is just the same exit on the other side, but yeah.
Otmar will go north.
I'll go east.
Almar's going north. Gideon's going east. Aiko, you're going to go west, I suppose. All right.
Oh,
So,
so flick a vial to Gideon and Otmar just in case.
Aiko, I'm going to start with you. You travel for maybe not even 100 meters down your tunnel, and it's caved in, completely blocked.
What would I go? Yeah, he'll just radio that he's locked in. I'll just go sit at the center. Maybe I can coordinate between the 2 of you in case the static gets too bad. So I'll kind of just serve as a midpoint.
Copy that. Continuing north. Path is clear.
Otmar, can you make an observation check for me, please, as you're making your way north? You're traveling down here both the same distance as you went when you went south, But the quarters here is quite overgrown with vegetation and mud and silt.
Does it look natural, like from the planet, or does it look alien?
It looks natural. Yeah.
Seeing a lot of overgrowth here. The planet reclaiming this part of it. I can go a bit further, but it doesn't look like any activity recently. Very old. And then he would turn back at some point if he thought it was hopeless.
Okay. Well, nothing's blocking your way forward. So if you want to continue on, you can.
Is it dusty? Would there have been footprints? Is he leaving footprints?
With that extra observation check, I can say yes. You can easily see the footprints in the muddy, kind of flooded corridor that you're walking down, and there's no other sign of anyone else having been here.
Okay. I'm leaving footprints, and they're the only ones. Turning back.
Say after about maybe about 100 meters in, you realize you're walking down a unused tunnel, and you make your way back. Gideon, can you make an observation check on this?
Sure thing.
Oh, right. You're walking down your corridor, and it looks clean as a whistle. And unlike the other two, which kind of snake around and do have these little natural bends almost, this one is straight as an arrow.
Does it feel like it's sloping up or is it sloping down?
With your, I'll just say with your third observation success there, you'll say that it seems level. You're not going up or down.
Okay. Gideon's gonna radio back. This area is pretty clean, but it's not bendy like all the other ones. It's just going straight. I'm gonna try and see where it goes.
Copy that. I'll follow behind.
Eggs. You and Half Pint are on the floor of this massive, massive cavernous room. You look up, and this is what you see. It's like a dome. You're in a dome. And you can see that almost like a pinprick of light above you where you descended. You look around, and this room is flooded. You're almost up to your knees in muddy water. And every time you move, you kind of stir up some bioluminescent algae. And it gives off this strange glow. And there are islands of vegetation. You don't know if they've taken root here, or if they're just loose and floating around. But that pink fungus, those little like mushroom like things, they are everywhere here. And you just hear Half Pint saying, "Oh my God. Like I'm in a perfume shop, this place." And then off to the east, which would have been the same direction that Gideon went, is a very wide looking corridor sloping up slightly. It's as if you're in an underground parking lot and there's a ramp up to leave, but it is wide, almost 80 to 100 meters wide, this ramp going up.
Lockjaw, come in, Lockjaw. Can you hear me? She's gonna get to the mouth of that large corridor and repeat that.
Lockjaw, the one without the helmet.
No, he's got one.
Okay, so
Half
And
Pint.
she's also
Look.
looking at her PDAT, trying to figure out, like, I don't know if that shows location. I'm not sure what it shows exactly, but she's trying to. And presumably she might see signals from her other party members, but I'm not sure. Don't know how that works.
Yeah. It's not really a tracking device. But I think what you could do is correlate your signals maybe from your comms units. Feed that into your PDAT, and from there figure out how far they are, relative direction, that kind of thing. But you see Can you make a contact check for me, please, as you look at your PDAT and try to understand what you're looking at down here?
Goodness.
It makes no sense what you're looking at here. It says Lockjaw is like 10 meters in front of you. He's clearly not there.
She's going to frantically radio back. Lockjaw, can you hear me? Lockjaw, come in. Luther, answer. She's going to grab the PDAT and throw it on the ground. And she's going to pull out her revolver, signal to Half Pint. And she's going to inch forward a little bit. She's trying to look into this corridor. What can she see?
Before you do that, that's when you kind of look back at Half Pint and see what he's up to. He's full on kneeling in the water. And his face is in this fungus.
Half Pint, what are you doing?
Yeah, man, this is something. You got to smell this, man. This is just wild.
She's like, no. Half Pint, get your face out of that now.
And he just turns and he looks up at you, and his eyes are completely bloodshot. And he's got kind of like this kind of like wide-eyed, like he just snorted half a ton of coke kind of look on his face. He's, no, man, this stuff's crazy. No. And he stands up and says, I feel great. Oh, he's looking around. He's looking a little wild-eyed, and he's looking around and starts, where the hell did Lockjaw go? I'm gonna go. I'll go find him, ma'am. And he starts jogging as best he can through, like, for him, probably thigh-high water towards the ramp.
She's gonna try to stop him. Half Pint, no. We got to get back to the rest. There's
Right.
no time for this right now. You got to know when your cards are no good. And our cards are no good here.
Megs, I need you to make a close combat check to see if you can grab him. It'll be contested. Ooh, good roll. All right, you managed to grab him, and with your extra successes, you can totally restrain him if you like.
Yeah, she does, and she slaps him. She's trying to slap him straight.
He's looking at you. Let go of me, you fucking bitch.
You're not thinking right, Half Pint. You're not thinking right. What have I always told you?
No, I'm sick of you telling me what to do. Half Pint do this, Half Pint do that. No, I'm done with that, man. I'm let go of me. And you can just see him start thrashing, trying to escape your grasp.
Half Pint, we don't have time for this. This isn't a game.
I ain't
We're not
playing,
playing.
ma'am. Let me go. And you can just start hearing anger rise in his voice.
She's going to let him go.
And he bolts up the ramp.
She's going to start heading back towards the rope. And she's sort of walking backwards, looking at that situation. She's feeling like she lost this hand for sure.
They're going to start climbing back up.
She's gonna get to the rope and make one last call for Lockjaw. And she calls him by his name. Luther, Cortez, answer me. Do you read me? If you can hear me, Half-Pint's on his way in your direction. And he's not playing with a full hand. Be wary. Be on guard. I hope you can hear me. I'm folding. And she starts climbing up.
Go ahead and make that mobility check. You have the 2 bank successes from before. Plus, if Otmar and Aiko are there, they can help pull you up too. So you get
Aiko is there.
all right. Yep, on Otmar. So you get 4 extra dice to your mobility check.
Question for what Mags was seeing in that room, because they had the lights. Were they seeing like little floating particles, like those aerosolized like black dot things?
Nice. Megs, make an observation check for me as you're climbing up and looking around, taking one last look at this chamber. Yeah, you look around. At first, you didn't see it coming down here. There's just so much you thought it was like water vapor or just dust in here. But now you see, as you're rising up out of the water, the bioluminescent algae kind of lighting up all the disturbances where you and Half-Pint were moments ago. Helps you see now that pink fungus. It is emitting so many tiny little spores, and the entire bottom of this vast cavern is filled with it. And Half-Pint has been inhaling that quite a while. Right, I'm going to go back to Gideon. As you make your way down this long tunnel, Gideon, you see ahead of you, it opens up a little bit. There's alcoves on either side of you, and you see small stone stairs leading down. And beyond that, a very narrow alcove that ends in a door. And again, I say door loosely because this is a big slab.
Gideon's gonna radio back to Aiko and Otmar and just be like, "Oh, I found some steps and a door. I'm gonna try and see if I can open it." And then he's gonna try and investigate the door and see if he could get it open.
All right. So you look, make an observation check first of all to see if you, as you're checking out this door. Yeah, there are no hinges on it, but it looks like it's a slab. You do see like cracks around it, indicating that it could be pushed if you have enough strength to do so. Want to give it a shove?
Yeah, I'll give it a shove. I'm on drugs. Nothing bad can happen.
All right. Go ahead and make a stamina check and add 3 to your roll. You push open the door. See this. Can you make an observation check for me, please?
Okay.
No, you can't push this one.
Aw,
So you're going
man.
to take a stress level. As you open this door, you see a cavern with this monolithic face, as if carved out of stone on the far end, covered in what looked like xenomorphic alien creature, lizard-like creatures crawling over the face. For the first second, you catch your breath and think, oh my God, these are aliens and they're alive. But then you realize that they're part of the statue. They are not, in fact, alive. And you see lying in neat rows between you and this monolithic face are row upon row of what look like clay urns. And you see, wrapped almost like cocoons, the shapes of your three sisters lying beneath this massive face. Can you make an observation check for me, please, one more time?
Okie dokie.
Is a voice in your ear whispering, "Isn't it beautiful?"